Making laws and parliamentary procedure. So here we go. Famously called how we make the, you don't want to know this is how you make a sausage. You don't want to know what goes into the sausage. You don't want to know what's happening right now in the negotiations between the teachers and the government, because there's all kinds of stuff being discussed. And you just don't want to see what's happening in there. So how do we make laws? Well, most laws start with the Prime Minister and his cabinet. Remember I taught you about the cabinet, where the files are? And each cabinet minister has something they're responsible for, a different file. We call this whole thing the executive. They have lots and lots and lots and lots of power. Heck, the guy's own office is called the Prime Minister's office. It's powerful by itself. So is the Premier's office. Prime Minister appoints the cabinet, they appoint the Governor General, they do all that stuff. And most laws, almost all laws, start with them. Which ones don't start with them? Private members' bills. Luke! Private members' bills are the only ones that don't start with them. And private members are what we call backbenchers, right? They can pass, but it's rare. There's one right now going through that the Green Party leader suggested about, I think it's about ticks, and it's getting parliamentary support. Okay, so that would be a private member's bill that everybody goes, yeah, we can all agree ticks are evil. All right, you know what they call that when they discuss that? Tick talk. Boom. Okay, you're welcome. Get that out of your heads now. So after this, let's just go through the process. The cabinet makes a recommendation. By the way, when you pick a cabinet member, you want to pick somebody from Quebec, somebody from BC, you want to represent the whole country. Keep that in mind. So they give it a, remember the first reading? The first reading is just to wake everybody up. Hello, wake up, heads up, we're going to talk about this. Then they have a second, really, you came in late and then your phone goes off. The second reading, we have a second reading and it leads to the first debate. And the first debate isn't about the wording, it's about really, is this a good idea? And if we think it's a good idea, it goes to a committee. And we actually have committees, we have some committees that are brand new, but we have a lot of things called standing committees. So if it's about First Nations, it goes to the experts on First Nations. If it's about finance, it goes to the experts about money. If it's about law and order, if it's about crime, it goes, does that make sense? So it goes to these committees and then they can change it. What's the legal word for change? Amend, right, a single psych teacher, amend. All right, and so off it goes, they amended, it comes back, and because they changed Mr. Bill, we get the third reading, they read the new wording, they debate it, and in the House they can amend it again, and if it passes, off it goes to where? Our sober second House, if sober you mean, you know, Scotch written, is the Senate. And in the Senate, they do this same process all over again. Right? And if it gets through them, it goes to the Governor General, and the Governor General signs it, and we call that royal assent, because the Queen goes, yes, it's a law. That is sort of the meat of it. Is it possible to pass a law without going through this process? Yes, if they're in recess, or if it's an emergency. And we call that, what is that called? Where they pass the whole thing. No, good guess, that's over there. Notwithstanding clause is over here. What's that? Order in council. It's called an order in council. And just so you know, interesting fact, the council is actually the executive council. You know what another name for an executive council is? The cabinet. The executive council is the cabinet, and the leader of the executive council is the prime minister or the premier. They can pass a law without going through the House, and they usually do it when they appoint senators, or they do it if everybody's in recess and they got to pass it quickly. So it's called an order in council. I'm not sure if I'm missing any other terms. How did we do? Pretty well?